Like, I feel like a lot of the times, and like the reason that people talk shit about their own friends is because they use those friends as validation meters, as like parameters to which they can compare themselves in their own life decisions and choices and make themselves feel better about themselves. Because when you have somebody in your life in close proximity, it's much easier to sort of feel like, oh, this person that I'm friends with, that I know, that I'm close with, is making these like bad decisions, let's say, like up to the friend. And then they could kind of look at their decisions and be like, wow, this friend of mine is like not making great decisions in this regard, or doing the thing the same way I would do it. Therefore, I am better than them in this regard, and I feel more validated about myself, right? The way in which insecure people need to survive is to consistently receive external validation. That is how they keep on going. That is how they don't reach this level of like extreme breakdown and having like that meter of insecurity reach its peak, right? The more validation you receive and the more consistently you receive it, that level of like realization of how insecure you really are about yourself, or how you really feel about yourself, never really hits peak, because you're constantly getting the validation, right? So it's like diminishing slowly and slowly, and it's like sort of like never boiling up to the top, right? It's not getting to that point of like going over, like exploding, right? I don't need to validate my own existence by undermining my friends, because I actually love my friends and I want nothing but the best for them. And if they're not making, like, in my opinion, the healthiest of choices, I would love to give input just to like support and uplift and maybe like guide them in the right direction, but only if they ask me for that. If they don't, then it's none of my business. It's none of my business. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic. If you're the kind of person that makes yourself feel better by undermining your friends and their actions and judging them and their actions, you A, don't really like have a lot of security within yourself, and B, you're not that good of a friend. Like, I'm not saying like friends can't be good friends to one another just because they talk shit about each other behind their backs, because in one way, if you really look at it, it's not necessarily always because they hate the friend, right? They like underlyingly hate the friend. It's because they are just trying to like survive within their own insecurities. And when you are secure in yourself as a person, you are rarely, if ever, gossiping and talking shit about your friends and their actions and their decisions about their life and what they do behind their back. Like, I feel like you rarely do it because you don't need to validate yourself through your friends. So people really rely on like validating themselves or getting validation from other people, and a really easy way for people to receive that validation without actually really needing to do much is to look at the lives of people within close proximity to them, aka, and most likely in this situation, their friendships, their friends. Because when you look at your friends and you look at some of the decisions they make and the things that they do, it's really easy to find ways in which you feel like you would do better than them or make a better decision and go a different, better route, right? And then you can kind of look at them and look at the bad decisions that they're making according to you and be like, I would have done it differently. I would have done it better. Henceforth, I am better in like this regard or the situation, or, you know, in like the ways that you speak, behave, act, people that you choose, relationships you enter, jobs you take, appearance, you know, whatever. It's just like, that is just such an easy way for people to self-validate, is to just like go and look at the people in their lives and find things to nitpick and be like, I am better than you in this regard, aka, or henceforth, I don't even know, I feel better about myself and my life choices. And my friends, like, if I think about like really my friends that I loved and I really felt like we're friends because we like each other as people, not because like proximity circumstances, like we actually get on, I never really talk shit about those friends because I actually like them. You know what I mean? Like, I like those people. I didn't want to undermine them. I didn't want to be mean about like towards them and about them and talk shit about them. Like, truly for me, it was only like if I was talking shit about my friends, those weren't really like my friends. Those weren't people that I actually really liked that much. It was more like a friendship that was, what's it called, circumstantial or just convenient for the both of us, you know, sort of forced, or like if you were like in a friend group and like there was just another person there that you didn't really vibe with, but they were part of the friend group and you were part of the friend group, so you kind of had to like, in my head, I'm generally like, this is their life, this is their lesson. If they want to live their life and do this thing and make these decisions, that's their life. That's literally none of my business. So long as they are happy and healthy and content, and not like psychologically impacting themselves negatively and me, because like I still have to watch out for me, I have to protect me, then like it's none of my fucking business. Do you know what I mean? Of course I have opinions. I'm not a non-human being. You know, like I have opinions, but it's none of my fucking business. And again, there's nothing I ever say behind friends' backs that I wouldn't say to their face, that I wouldn't feel confident and comfortable saying to their face. I'm not saying it would go over well, because some of the decisions maybe my friends have made that I've discussed with other friends, I think would hurt their feelings, in the sense like them knowing how I truly felt about it, and them having to face the fact that like maybe, because as friends we do kind of see things a little bit more clearly than the actual person going through it. Don't you like your friends? Like, why are you talking negatively about your friends? Like, don't you like your friends? And it really just hit me, this thing of like, because it really came off in this like comparison sense of like, like they would have done the thing differently and they would have done it better, aka it's almost like a superiority thing of like, I would have made a different choice and my choice would have been better, henceforth I am better in this regard. Do you know what I mean? And in my head I'm thinking, how would you know that? Like, how would you know? Because you've not been in the shoes of this friend. You don't know what it was like for them to be them. And even if maybe it is part of, you know, like just who they are as a person, that's like making the situation a bit harder for themselves, you don't actually know what you would have been like in that situation. So it just really irks me when people, especially friends, are saying this shit about their own friends. And I'm just like, this is not very like friendly, supportive, lovey of you. Like, this like reminds me of the 3 blonde girls in the season 3 of White Lotus, where they were like talking shit about one another, like 2 of them about the one and then the 2 about the other one, like the 2, like it was just like double circle, where I'm just thinking to myself like, you guys are not, do you actually like each other? Like, why are you pretending to be friends when you're clearly, you don't like each other? But when you look back, it really just was this thing of like, they're all insecure in their own unique different ways, and I feel like they could play off of the other friends' failures and insecurities and bad life decisions to sort of feel better about themselves, right? Because that's what they were doing in the end of it all. And then at the end they were like, guys, like this is so stupid, comparing ourselves to one another to feel better about each other's lives. Like, we're just like all girlfriends, let's just chill, drink cocktails, and, you know, like enjoy our lives together. And that was very beautiful. I'm happy that was kind of the outcome. But throughout the whole fucking season, I was just like, you girls do not like each other. And then at the end of it, you realize, oh no, they just didn't like themselves. Like, they just did not like themselves. And that is why they projected onto their friendships. But yeah, so that was my realization there.